Hey everyone, and welcome to RPG Elite. This is the place where we put the RP back into RPG. We give you tools, tips, and tutorials, and talk, and anything else really that is going to help you make your tabletop RPG experience more immersive and enjoyable. I have returned, and the first thing that I really want to say to all of you who showed support and gave condolences and prayers and shout outs during my heartbreak, I really appreciate it. I didn't come onto the channel, I didn't check stats, I didn't do anything. I just decompressed during that time, and I came back today and saw all of the loving comments, and I just really appreciate you guys. Thank you so much. Life is for the living though, and we had to move on. And time is not going to heal this, because time does not heal wounds. It just allows us to adapt to the grief that we have. And so time will move on, and we will too here on RPG Elite. Today I wanted to return with something a little different. I'm going to be responding to your comments. So you are the ones today that have provided the content for this video. I thought it's an easy video to do, and I wanted to kind of come back a little differently, just with something not too involved, but I wanted you to be a part of it obviously as well. So today, let's get into it, responding to your comments. How we're going to do this is I'm going to tell you what video it's from, and then it's going to be off the top of the dome. I don't script this stuff. And for those of you who can't sit through my so-called rants, you can skip ahead. If you can't skip ahead and you don't want to do that, then you can go and watch another video. And if you don't want to do that, then you can just move on at that point, because obviously I'm not the guy. I'm not for you. This channel's not for you. It's amazing to me the people who always have a complaint. It's like they can't sit through anything. Well, I'm busy, man. Okay, we'll skip through. And if you're too busy to skip through, then I don't know what to tell you. Well, yeah, I do. This ain't the channel for you. That's what I'm going to tell you. Okay, so today, again, we're going to get into the comments. Now, some of you have expressed maybe you're having some trouble with the comments or commenting. Your comments are not showing up, disappearing, or whatever. I'm going to give you a couple of reasons why that may be the case before we get into this. One reason is because I have a filter on, and that filter will take your comment and put it to the side if you use any kind of profanity, any at all. If that is the case, it will be sifted, and then it will sit in a certain place for a while and then disappear into the ether, because I will not allow any comments on my channel that have profanity. So if you're going to comment, make sure that it's intelligent, make sure that it's lucid, and make sure that it's not vulgar, and that will be cool. Another reason, and a very rare reason, why your comments may not be showing up is because I delete them. Because if I see that they are kind of, trollish, I'll delete them. Now, this is for a handful of comments that I've done this to. Literally, I think I've done it to like 3, maybe 4 comments that I see, okay, I can see where this is going, so we're just not even going to have this. That is so rare that probably the next reason might be the reason why you are not seeing your comments, is that if you're doing too many comments, like say you post a comment and then you don't see it, and so you post another one and then you don't see that one. Well, if you do that too many times, I'm pretty sure that the YouTube algorithm will think that you're spamming, and so it'll just cut out all your comments. So just wait for a little while for it to show up. It could be a glitch in the matrix, who knows. If it doesn't show up, go ahead, down below, there is my email, and give me a ringy dingy through my email, and I'll check and see if it was in the other place or what's going on. And if it's not there, it's probably a YouTube thing. You're probably going to have to ask YouTube what's up, or you can just go ahead and make another comment. All right, so that's it. Let's get started into this. Your comments. So this first one is coming to us from the video Gamma World Cryptic Alliances Part 3 from Shane Winter. And he asked the question, will you be reviewing any of the Gamma World adventures? I'm specifically interested in what you thought of the 3rd edition Cities of Man modules. Now, not quite sure what you're talking about when you talk about Cities of Man. I'm going to assume you're talking about all the, like alpha, beta, gamma, delta, the ones that were primarily written by Kim Eastland. If that is what you are talking about, then I wouldn't be adverse to doing a review on that. That would be in a Tuesday video, and for those of you who don't know, I come out with videos on Tuesday and Fridays. Friday, I reserve exclusively for classic tabletop RPGs, where I take deep dives into a system, and it's a whole series of videos on one particular game. Right now we're doing Gamma World. So Tuesday videos, it's kind of up for grabs. I'll do a tutorial, I'll do a talk, I'll do something else. And that's where we can put in a review, and I wouldn't be adverse to doing that. I guess my question would be, what would you want to see in the review? Like, what would you want me to cover? I know how I would do a review, but I just want to make sure that you're getting your most bang for your buck when you come here. So let me know in the comments below, what would you like to see specifically if I would start doing reviews on these classic tabletop modules? Okay, this next one comes to us from the RPG Elites Are Not Rules Police, and that is the RPG Elite Philosophy video from Alexandria Mason. She says, love your channel. I don't agree with everything you say, but I absolutely love the adult level conversation about aspects of our hobby that is careening off the rails in recent years. Wish I could like your video multiple times. Thanks for the love, Alexandria. And I love the fact that you don't agree with everything that I say, but how you approach it. See, this is what RPG elites do. Because all RPG elites, we don't agree on everything. We don't. There's different levels of these things. We agree on the basics, and then, some will take it a little higher, some will be a little lower, some will think it's not that important, some will think it's more important. But we can do this in a way that's lucid and respectful, and I really appreciate that, Alexandria. And as far as the point in you talking about the certain things that are careening off the rails in our hobby, yeah, I'm going to be approaching those things in videos in the coming months, God willing, because I'm that guy, and that means that I'm going to be the guy saying the things that nobody wants to hear, saying them in a way that probably is going to ruffle feathers and make people get upset and blase. All right, well, if that's the case, then I'll be your guy, because I ain't backing down, because I have an agenda, and I've said this before. Thanks again, Alexandra, appreciate it. This next one comes from Crap Phone. Crap Phone? This was in response to my tabletop RPG abuse role-playing versus role-playing video. It says, I really enjoyed the use of inflammatory terminology to describe different types of gameplay. You are right that the people who treat role-playing more like a tabletop skirmish war game are not going to do well with those of us who prefer to emphasize the ROLE playing aspect of the game. But there is nothing wrong with the new subgenre that does treat it more like a tabletop skirmish game if that's what your group enjoys. It is, after all, mostly about the GAME part of it, or should be, in my opinion. Thank you for the comment, and I'm with you. I'm with you. There is nothing wrong with, if that's your deal and that's your bag and that's what you want to do, then hey, that's cool. Go ahead, do that. Call it a skirmish game or whatever you want to call it. Just don't call it a role-playing game, right? Don't call it a role-playing game, because that's not what it is. And again, just like I said in that video, if you're using a role-playing game as a skirmish game, that's abuse of the game. It's an abnormal use of the game. So yes, I mean, it is what it is. I mean, you can, some people like the inflammatory language that I use to define these things. It's very weird. I think we'll get to this in one of the other comments of how some of the people reacted to that video. All right, this next one is on the same video, Tabletop RPG Abuse. And it's from 7 Beers Dweller. Some of you guys is monikers, man, I swear. It says, after the intro, I kind of want to post a profanity-filled comment which is just in support of the video without going into detail about what I agree or disagree with. As a side note, a lot of the dictionaries recently have become extremely political, even to the extent of using a word in its own definition. What he's talking about is that in that video, I used the dictionary to define terms. And believe it or not, there were people who were like saying, oh, well, language changes. So for you to use a dictionary, I mean, that wouldn't be the way to go. What do you mean? For the terms that I use, that's a straw man argument, by the way. For the terms that I use, it's exactly for what it is, because those terms have not changed their definition since their inception. So that's apples and oranges right there. Bringing that up don't have nothing to do with nothing. Didn't understand that one in the least. However, what he's saying here is true. Yep, the dictionaries have become political. Of course, I use older dictionaries, so the ones that I try to use I don't have that infusion in them, even though pretty much had that for quite a while now. But we're talking about not politically charged words per se, abuse, role-playing, that kind of thing. And role-playing has always meant role-playing. It's never meant nothing else. So yeah, that argument that was being given about, well, language changes and whatever, yeah, that holds zero water in what I was saying, like none. This comment's from Jack Krieger on my 3 ways to enhance your tabletop RPG campaign with video. He says, as a GM, I think videos to describe places is potentially extremely valuable. And as a player, I think short videos to describe big bads would be so epic. Now, for those of you who have not seen that video, you might want to go there and look at that, because let's say you made a video for the introduction of a big bad that was going to be reoccurring in your campaign. Trust me on this. That makes an impact on the minds of the players, and they will remember that villain, which is what you want. So thank you again for your comment. All right, my next one is from John R. Peck. Gamma World Community Rank and Status is the video. And he said, as usual, great video. I will have to binge watch your channel for Gamma World content for a project I'm working on. I would love to talk to you more and pick your brain a little. Take care and keep up the awesome work. Thank you so much for the love, John. And for those of you who want to talk to me maybe a little bit longer about something else, then again, here's my email. Go ahead, send me a little something. We can go back and forth as much as I can. I might not get back with you for a couple days or whatever, but I will get back with you. Emails, I always answer. I always answer emails. I may not get to all of your comments, but I will get to all of your emails eventually. They are that important. All right, this next one comes to us from RPG Elite Philosophy Quality number 2. RPG Elite, don't play every tabletop RPG. Says, I love how you highlight choosing an RPG for a game you want to play instead of choosing what's popular. Also, the following point about RPGs not all being created equal makes perfect sense. There are definitely some that I've played and thought, well, that was rough. Worse are the ones where you think, this could be so good if we overhauled this one fundamental thing about the game. Thanks for the video. And thank you, Mr. Stephen Partridge, for your comment. There's a whole string of folks out there who just play a game just because it's popular, or just do something like in life just because, well, everybody else is doing it, I'm going to do it as well. That's a dumb reason to do something. That's dumb. Listen, do your due diligence, and if you like the game, then go ahead and play it. People who do that, they're weak-minded. Those are weak-minded individuals that just follow the crowd, that don't know how to make their own decisions. They want to take the time to think about something, and they just kind of fall into place, and they fall into the cracks, really, because they are not unique individuals. They just kind of parrot what somebody else is doing. Don't do that. Don't do that. Play a game. And this is the thing, because we have that going on in our space, the games that I cover on this channel don't get any love because, well, this game is really popular, so I'll just play that one. Instead of just, hey, there are a lot of other RPGs out there. Do your due diligence, take the time, find out about them. You just may find you like playing that RPG, and you'll have some fun, and you might be able to find some other people to play it with you now that we have virtual tabletops and things like that. And then when it comes to games that, man, this game would be great if this was changed or this was changed. I have had long conversations with my fellas about this. Gamma World 3rd edition, I know I've said this before, but that's one of the deals. It's like, man, this could be a good game if they would have changed this. And so you need to do an overhaul. I did an overhaul on it and it was great. That system's fantastic. I think the ACT is the best thing about the system, but how it was implemented, not so much. So what you want to do, you're going to have to take the time with those systems, right? And then, of course, there are those games where it's like, whoa, shoot, yeah, hard pass on that one. Man, we ain't going to be playing that one. Okay, this next one is from Kingdoms. From my 4 reasons black people don't play tabletop RPGs. The response on this comment is all of the literal white supremacists certainly don't help, but you covered that in socially inept. What? What exactly are you talking about? Are you actually saying that the RPG space is so filled with white supremacists? That's why black people don't play? Because if you are saying that, then I would have to say unequivocally and vehemently that that is absolutely false. And I have to say about the statement itself that, I don't want to say this. Well, let me just say it. That's all kinds of stupid and moronic. That's not it at all. I've been playing since the 80s, and I've always been the black eyed pea in the rice. And I'm telling you right now, it was not there at all. At all. And I play with all white people. Never experienced it, ever. That's a dumb statement. You know, make a blanket statement about there are all these white supremacists. And listen, you ain't got to go home, but you got to get out of here with that nonsense. That ain't even RPG Elite. You can move on. All right. Servant, that's rough, man. Yeah, it is rough. Yeah, zero tolerance for that nonsense. And this is the kind of stuff that Alexandria, now I'm assuming this, right? But I'm assuming Alexandria was talking about things like this, the things that were careening off the rails, this invasion of this kind of nonsense into their tabletop RPG space. Yeah, I'm going to be that guy. I am going to be that guy. Just like I said before, I'll be the Negro you love to hate, but I am going to say the truth. It's kind of like what Aldous Huxley said. He says, you shall know the truth, and the truth will make you mad. And I'm that guy that's going to be bringing the truth about that. All of this nonsense in the coming months and, God willing, the coming years. Yeah, I ain't going to back down from that stuff. I'll be the guy saying stuff that those cats will hate. Trust me on this. All right, this is coming from the same video from Joel Craig saying, maybe this is pandering, but do you think a game setting based on African history and mythology before any European influence will be popular with black people? Was a 2-part question, right? It is pandering, and no, I don't think it would make a difference. I don't think you understand, if you watch the video, I don't think you understand the toxicity and power of reason number 3, the black culture. I don't think y'all get it. Unless you in it, you don't get it. And this is become even worse as the years have come, especially now. So you can drop that stuff right in the middle of a black neighborhood. Nah, that ain't gonna do nothing. I mean, would you get some? Sure, I'm sure you would. But you ain't gonna get a whole lot of black people coming in droves or anything just because they made some game about black. Nah, that ain't it. Yeah, that's not gonna do a whole lot of anything. You know. Now I could say much more about that, but I'm gonna let it roll so we can keep going here. And this also is from the very same video, because I got over 2,000 comments on that one. So I'm just going to be picking and choosing when we do these over time, right? So we won't be done with this particular video for a long time when it comes to responding to comments. This is from Zach Hansen, and he says this, because this is my first time watching a video of yours. I commend you, sir. I can't say I would be able to articulate these points as well as you did. I know how emotionally charged this topic is. I would have been very frustrated and angry trying to talk about this. I completely agree with you on how the masses misuse the term racism. I also agree with you on this woke culture. You didn't even say much about it, and you are right. This conversation could be had over many, many, many more videos. I'm a white guy. I've never been in an RPG group with a black person. Thank you for your honesty and courage. Well, Zach, thank you very much for taking the time out to comment on this video, and you are right. There are so many subtopics just from that video that we will, God willing, in the future be talking about and covering here at RPG Elite. Again, I don't mind making myself a target, right? Even when people leave stupid comments, and they have. There's plenty of people who have already left stupid comments on here. That's fine. I don't mind making myself a target. Half of those people, their comments don't show up because they're laced with profanity, so I don't really read them. But the other half, they just be saying stupid stuff off the side of their neck that I just ignore. So if you don't see me responding to your comments, it's not that I, don't like your comments or don't like you or whatever, because I don't know you, right? The thing about it is that I may not like your comment, or I may not have seen your comment, to be quite honest, because there's a lot of comments and I try to respond to them as much as I can. But this is our first shot at doing this, right? So we'll continue to do this as much as we possibly can. And we'll see how much that we can get through in terms of responding to all the comments, because they're just going to pile up over time. So I don't know if I'll do this once a month or whatever, but this was an easy one for me, folks, and it was good just to really get back and just kind of connect with you one-on-one, because it was really just responding directly to your comments. That's it for me. I'm going to be here on Friday. We're back in the game, folks. And so until Classic Tabletop RPG Friday, happy gaming.